So welcome back to Folk in the Front Room. We have a super guest with us today. We've got Cindy Stratton, who's driven all the way from Corsham to get to us here. And so I'm going to be asking her some questions and finding out about her musical history. When did you start, Cindy? What triggered you into music?
Oh, wow, what a question. A very long time ago, and I think it was just one of those organic things towards music. I played piano at school a little bit, had a year's free lessons, and then that all stopped when it stopped being free, and so that was the end of that. And then I had a beaten up old guitar that came with me when I first moved to Bristol.
Acoustic
guitar.
Right.
And I used to just muck about on it and sort of make things up, and I didn't think anything of it. And then people kept saying, "Well, you've got a nice voice. Did Joni Mitchell write that song?" And I was like, "No." And I was like, "Oh, no, don't look at me," and terribly shy. But I think it was just something I was meant to do, and I just kind of, it sort of just had its own little path. And so from really young, from late teens onwards, I've been writing songs and trying to perfect what I do and trying to become more confident at performing them and that sort of thing.
And so what's your guitar history?
Same really.
What's this one
this
playing?
one. Oh, this is this is the only guitar I own, actually. My husband's got a few acoustic guitars and electric ones, but I meet people all the time who gather lots and lots of instruments around them. And my philosophy is, well, it doesn't make you a better player, you know, just because you've got lots of instruments. So I've stuck with my lovely Takamine that I've had for about 36 years now. And I bought it in Denmark Street, and it was a second-hand buy, but it came with a really good pedigree and everything. And I love playing it, so I play it, and that's it. Maybe one day I'll treat myself to something new as well.
It's got a lovely sound.
But, it comes to life when it's plugged in, actually. That was the point at the time. I wanted something, because you know what it's like in folk clubs when you've got a microphone up against the guitar, everything can feed back and you get all that nonsense. So I wanted something that would plug in and sound good, and for the price there were better guitars like Martins and things like that sounded fabulous acoustically, but they didn't have the electronics that this one had. So this one just seemed like the best of both worlds, and it does come to life when it's plugged in even more. But thank you. I'm glad you appreciate the tone of it. I really like it. So.
Oh, no, it's cool. And so in your musical career, what would you say has been the highlight so far?
Oh, gosh, another brilliant question. Whatever I did last week in my front room, in my own front room, I don't know. Let me think. That was a silly answer in a way. What I'm trying to say is that I am always involved in the making of music, and the creating of the songs is the really exciting bit for me. And then in terms of performances, I've been lucky. I've done some things that were fun at the time. So many years ago, I was in a competition that took me to the legendary Marquee Club in London.
Oh, I've been there, yeah.
And I got into the final four of thousands of entries there, and that was quite exciting at the time. Really nerve-wracking. So I suppose you could say that was a career highlight then. And more recently, oh gosh, it's really hard to pinpoint, because I loved launching my album. There we are, that's the latest one. At the Rondo recently. That was a bit of a highlight, because it was packed full of mostly people I knew, not everybody, but a lot of friends who'd come out to support, which was fabulous. And when you've been doing this for a long time, you can't expect friends to come to every gig. You just can't, because why would they? They've heard you before. But it was lovely. They came along, and the room was just lit up with love, I would say. And it was just a really lovely, lovely occasion. So that was a highlight for me, a recent highlight. Yeah.
And so tell us about the album. How long was that in the making?
Well, some of the songs started during lockdown. In fact, I thought when lockdown first happened, apart from it being obviously terrible, and I was really lucky I wasn't personally affected by any of the awful stories that, nobody around me suffered terribly badly. I thought the fact, great, I've got all this time, I can be really creative, I can really, you know, I don't have to be sociable. I don't have to do anything. And we lived in a lovely part of Bath with beautiful walks and nature and everything. So I found that incredibly inspiring to start with, and I really became like aware of nature in a way that I hadn't been before. And literally I was in my garden one day, I thought, I can hear it. I can hear things growing. It wasn't just seeing things growing. It was that fabulous spring that we had, which I think made it all lovely. Bearable. And it was like nature saying, this is what you've been missing, and this is what you need to get to, you know, this is what's important. So I think it was hugely nourishing at that time for me. But then it sort of, I did really miss people after a while, and thought, no, we do need each other, we need community. Everything seemed to dry up after a bit, you know, that, and it made me realise you can't just be a little island on your own. You do need to connect with people, you do need to be involved. But yeah, so some of the songs were from then, and then some more recent ones. And because I knew we were moving house as well, I wanted to tie up all my loose ends and get it all kind of in the bag. And you know, I like to finish what I start, and I like to be, you know, to have that sense of completion. So yeah, so that creates a springboard for the next body of work.
And is this your first album, or have you got previous?
No, I've actually made about, I think this is the 7th.
Oh wow!
By now.
Okay. Yeah.
But this is the one. It's funny. It's a funny thing to say that, really, because if you say that, people think, really? Why haven't I heard of her then? Or, you know, that kind of thing. And I couldn't answer that question. I mean, who knows why people, you know, why some people sort of, maybe, I don't make that much of an effort to promote myself. I've never been terribly good at that. But yeah, the albums are there anyway. They're there to be listened to. But this one felt special. It almost felt like a new beginning, maybe because of lockdown and that whole, I don't know, it felt like a great falling away of the past and a new beginning for me. So in a way, I feel like, even though it isn't my first album, it almost feels like it is, if you know what I mean.
Because it's something different.
Yeah, because it's different, and it was inspired by different things. And I think, again, it set me on a new path, you know, which is being reflected now in the songs that I'm starting to write now, which I feel are coming from a really honest place, you know, and less about maybe the craft of, oh, this has got to sound good when I perform it, and more about, no, let's get real here. What are you really trying to say? What are you really trying to say? Don't tie it all up in repeats of choruses and all that. Go for it and see what happens. So that's where I'm at.
Oh wow, that's an exciting place to be.
Yeah, I feel it is. Yeah.
And so you're going to be in Bath for a festival?
Well, it's Bath Fringe Festival. I believe it's starting next week, but I'm not quite sure. I'm not actually part of that festival, but I am going to be performing at Widcombe Social Club next Friday the 7th, and it'd be lovely to see some people there. It'd be really nice to have a little audience. Always helps. So,
and do you collab with people?
I do. I had a wonderful collaboration with a playwright called Alison Farina, and we wrote some songs together. That was amazingly liberating, because she basically took care of the lyrics and I was free to just express musically. One of the songs we wrote together is on the album Tarn of Tears. It was based on one of her poems, and then so I did that, and I work with my husband all the time. He's sort of like the engine in the engine room with things, and so it depends. But I say on my own boat, if you know what I mean. Yes. They're my songs. This is how. If push comes to shove, that's how it goes. Sorry if you don't like it, but that's it, you know.
And so you classify yourself as a singer-songwriter?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I'd say that's what I am. Yeah.
And you're happy being under the folk banner?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. Up with the folk. I mean, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because it used to be, you know, folk music had that kind of finger in the ear,
Woody jumper.
Yeah. Image. But actually, it's songs of the people for the people, isn't it?
Yes.
And so I definitely feel that. More so now, I'm happier to say now. I probably, in the past, might have thought, I don't want to be known as a folk singer. Well, I'm more contemporary than that, I would have thought then. But now, no. It's I'm not really interested in lots of highly commercialised music. It doesn't do anything for me whatsoever, and I'd much rather hear original songs played from the heart and with meaning, and
which yours does do.
Oh, thank you. Well, that's good. That's a result then. That's good. Yeah.
So we'll be hearing some songs from Cindy in just a minute. So last question, Cindy. What are you aiming for now? So where's your path going to be musically? How would you like it to go?
I think what I'd like to do is just keep doing what I'm doing, keep writing. It would be that mythical breakthrough thing that sometimes happens. Who knows? Somebody could pick up a song and think, this would be perfect in my film, this would be perfect soundtrack material. I'm up for collaborations with the right people. I just want to keep it fresh and exciting, and I want to be excited by my own output, if you like. And if it stops doing that, or if I feel it isn't anymore, then I'll stop, do something else. It's that's where I'm at. But I mean, it's been my friend. It's been something I've done for so many years now. I can't imagine stopping. I'll be doing it when I'm 80.
Well, we're going to have Cindy on when she's 80. Thank you very much for coming to be with us today, Cindy. I really appreciate it.
It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.